Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session. I am Diane Olivo-Posner, the Principal Librarian, Associate Director of the Exploration and Creativity Department of the Los Angeles Public Library. We are the city library system, which is different from the Los Angeles County library system. Some of our services do overlap, so if you live in one of these communities, you are super lucky because you have two public libraries that offer you so many amazing resources. Some of you may have an LAPL library card that looks like this. Or you might have one of our art library cards that looks like this. Or you may be a student at LAUSD and you have a student success card. But if you don't have any of the library cards, it's okay. If you live in the Los Angeles County area, you can also apply for a free e-library card. All you have to do is go to our website at lapl.org to apply. With the LAPL e-library card, you can access our huge e-media and digital content collection. You can watch movies, download ebooks, and e-audio. You can check out music by your favorite artist or band. You can read magazines and even learn a language or a new skill. You can use the e-card to place holds on books, DVDs, CDs, audiobooks, and you can pick them up at one of the 26 Los Angeles Public Library Library to Co locations. Remember, you can learn more about LAPL STEM offerings by visiting Los Angeles Public Library's STEAM page at lapl.org/STEAM. You can also visit the Los Angeles Public Library's Neighborhood Science page at lapl.org/NEISCI. Today, we will be featuring one of our maker librarians, Sean Stam, from the Chatsworth Library. Sean helped create the Chatsworth Library Maker Space and will be showing some of the amazing creations and projects that they've created. Now, over to Sean.
Hello, my name is Sean Stam, and I am the adult librarian at the Chatsworth Branch of Los Angeles Public Library here in sunny Southern California. And today I'd like to welcome you to the Chatsworth Library Maker Space Virtual Maker Fair Edition. The Chatsworth Library Maker Space is a group of dedicated volunteers who create crafts and also electronics and STEM work for the patrons of Chatsworth Branch Library here in Chatsworth, California. Today what we're going to do is we're going to show you a cross-selection of some of the things that our members actually do. In our first video today, Bryce Summer is going to demonstrate one of his video games, and he's going to actually go into depth as to how he actually designs a video game. And I think it's quite interesting because we oftentimes don't get a chance to dig into the mind of video game designers, and Bryce has graciously made a video that will give us an idea of his thought processes. And he's also graciously given us an opportunity to give out some of his games today, so we would encourage you to go and sign up for the game that he'll be demonstrating, and so maybe you'll be able to win one of his games today and take it home with you from the video fair. The second video that we'll be having today is my video. I will give you an idea of my design ideas and how I formulate things. Hopefully you'll be able to dig into my mind and get some inspiration, just like with Bryce's video, to go and create your own things. Maybe it'll be a video game, maybe it will be a physical object like myself. We all have various talents, and mine kind of lean toward the physical side. So hopefully you'll enjoy my video as well when I show you what I've designed. Our third video today is a video talking about a project that both I worked on and our member Jeremy Forbes worked on too. I worked on the physical end. I designed the mechanical end of it, and Jeremy went in and designed the software end of it. And hopefully you'll enjoy this particular project. It's going to be a project that will be disseminated amongst the libraries of Los Angeles Public Library. So maybe you'll get a chance to actually get your hands on it at some time if you visit one of our libraries. Lastly, we'll be giving you an opportunity to do one of our crafts. Crafting is also an important part of our makerspace as well. We take pride in designing different crafts for people so that they can go and take them home with them and learn different things. We had one member of our group who actually went and was able to go and enroll in the Los Angeles County Fair with crafts that she had learned from our group. So we're very proud of the things that we've done here at Chatsworth Library and Makerspace. We would like to encourage you also to join any kind of makerspace that you can locally, or create your own makerspace. And we'd like to also encourage you to become makers as well. So this is really the object of our video today, is to encourage you and to inspire you to become makers. It really is the core of any kind of maker fair, I think, to inspire others to become makers. So without any ado, then, we're going to get straight to our videos. Once again, welcome to the pandemic edition of the Maker Fair booth for the Chatsworth Public Library.
Way back in late 2015, there was a game jam on the unfortunately now extinct FGL Developer Forum. The way the jam worked was they would announce a theme, and then over the next 48 hours, participants would have to make a game that embodies this theme. It sounded like a fun challenge to me, and so I decided to participate. The jam started on a Friday morning, the theme was minimalism, and I had the next 2 days to make a game from scratch. So I started thinking about what kind of gameplay I wanted my game to have. Early on, I decided that I wanted the game to be playable with one button to tie into the minimalism theme. I started thinking about ways to make gameplay with only one button. After a bit of thought, I decided that the goal in the game would be to press the button at a certain rhythm. There would be a set beat, and you would have to press the button at the right time. If you're too fast or too slow, you would fail. I also decided that there needed to be a window in time that you can press the button. And if you're just a little bit off timing, you wouldn't fail right away, but being off time for multiple consecutive beats in a row would build up and eventually cause the game to end if you're not careful. So now that I had a basic idea of what the gameplay loop would look like conceptually, it was time to create a basic prototype that actually implemented these ideas. I ended up with a simple game in which there are walls on the edge of the screen, a box in the center, and you control a cursor that moves across the screen at a set speed. When you click, the cursor rotates 90 degrees, thus enabling you to travel around the level in a clockwise direction. If the cursor hits any of the walls, the game ends. This satisfied all the design constraints I had. It was minimal, it required you to time your clicks just right in order to succeed, and more importantly, if you were just a little bit off in the timing, the game would still continue to play, but being off timing multiple beats in a row would build up and lead to the game ending. It was about 10 hours into the game jam at this point, and I had the basics implemented, but the prototype I had wasn't fun yet. I needed something else to make the game enjoyable. I thought to myself, how can I keep these same mechanics, but also make the game interesting? Two things came to mind that ultimately shaped the game into what it was. Firstly, I decided I would make the game visually interesting by having the view of the game world move, rotate, and scale as you were playing. This made the game more visually appealing and added an additional element of difficulty. Next, I thought about what I could do to make the game more appealing from an audio point of view, and this is where I had a bit of an aha moment. See, the whole gameplay is based around following a set beat or rhythm. And if you think about what else has timing in this way, well, the first thing that comes to mind is music. So I spent the rest of my allotted 30 hours or so creating some music that had a very prominent beat to it. I also created some animation in the game that went with the music. Then it was a simple matter of setting the player's speed so that they would have to turn according to the beat. And so Roundabout was born.
As a child, I can remember a house in the neighborhood that had a huge diorama of a carnival in the front lawn. When I was older and it was disassembled, I was given the Ferris wheel in the diorama. It was made of wood, bolts, gears, and an electric motor. Even though I wasn't able to restore it as a child, and it sadly ended up in the trash, the whole concept of creating my own Ferris wheel always fascinated me. When I started the Chatsworth Library Maker Space in 2017, I decided to return to the idea of making a Ferris wheel. I eventually enrolled the Makerspace and their projects into the DTLA Maker Fair at Los Angeles Public Library's Central Library in downtown Los Angeles. My project, of course, was a Ferris wheel. The goal of building my first Ferris wheel was to make it as a project that could be built by the Makerspace, and that would use inexpensive craft sticks, low-cost LEDs, motors, and an Arduino to control it. Even though the machine worked, it eventually failed to make those design criteria. It was too expensive, it was hard to build and disassemble, and it kept burning up motors. Little did I know that I was entering into the world of prototyping. Even though I was a woodworker and I had built scale wooden ships, it was still a challenge building a mechanical Ferris wheel. The first challenge was to build an electrical mechanical structure that accommodated the motor, the Arduino, the LEDs, wiring, and a proper access to spin the wheel around. The second challenge was getting the spinning spokes to light up, which I eventually solved. Lastly, after finishing the mechanical part of the project, I enlisted the aid of a member of our group, Bryce Summer, to program the Ferris wheel to get it running. He kindly educated me on the ins and outs of programming. Ultimately, it became my first entry in the Maker Faire. This was the original genesis of the Aero Zoo Ferris wheel. A couple of years passed and I found myself designing the chassis for a cell phone remote control robot known as Pinata Bot. Fellow Makerspace member Jeremy Forbes did the Herculean job of programming it for me. It was only after I designed a snap-together craft stick robot that I decided to make a snap-together Ferris wheel, which eventually became known as the Aero Zoo. I called it this because each one of the chairs had different animals on it. I also decided to make it light up like the Ferris wheel at the pier in Santa Monica, California. The goal was to create 3D plastic joints, fixtures, and chairs which could be snapped together along with craft sticks to make it a Ferris wheel. The first half of the design used a simple CAD program called Tinkercad. This is the video of the design for the center of the wheel, which incorporated the 4 wires needed to light it. I eventually had to move up to a full-blown CAD design software called Fusion 360 to design the rest of the Ferris wheel. This is a video of the design for the pinnacle of the pivot top of the Ferris wheel. I also ended up creating the chairs, all the fixtures, and most of the pivot points with this program because it enabled my designs to be more precise. Lastly, I laid the floor and painted it. The Aero Zoo is a result of my efforts. I hope you enjoy it. I would just like to thank you once again for visiting our video virtual maker booth today. It was a lot of fun making the videos. I'd like to show you our next project, which was developed primarily between Jeremy Forbes and myself, which is called a Pinata Bot. As you can see, the Pinata Bot has two wheels on it, two motorized wheels on it, two front wheels. It has a microcontroller on it. The thing that makes this microcontroller so special is it's a radio controlled microcontroller. It also has a balloon on the top, as you can see, a balloon carrier, and also a balloon popper. So you might ask yourself, well, what is this Pinata Bot? Well, the whole concept behind the Pinata Bot is that it goes on the floor, you turn the machine on, and then you connect it with your cell phone. And what this chip here does is it wirelessly sends a page to your cell phone with a remote control on it. So you can remote control this robot with your phone. That's why I say it's a really an advanced piece of programming. It's a marvelous piece of programming. It really was the goal of the group, at least in the back of my mind, to be able to make one of these things. It's a culmination of at least 3 different robots that we made. We started off making a little art cup that went and drew lines on a sheet of paper. So we started out with the paper cup, and then we went and developed a Beetle Bot, which is a mechanical robot that goes and it goes on the floor and it's made of toothbrush motors. And what it does is when it goes and it encounters an obstacle, it goes and it turns around. And then the next thing that we developed was a line following robot, which was programmable. And it was also both of the Beetle Bot and the line following robot used 3D printing technology. Then we progressed up to this, which is also programmable, but it is also wireless as well. And it also uses 3D printing technology. So like I said, it's the culmination of all these technologies that we've been developing over the years as a makerspace. So this is the Beetle Bot. So when you go and you turn it on, you can go and turn the lights on with your cell phone. You can maneuver the wheels also with your cell phone, the electronic wheels with the cell phone. What you do is you put it on the ground and you have somebody else that has the same robot, and then you maneuver it and you try to pop somebody else's balloon with this deadly popper here, as you can see. So it really is a game. The construction behind it's interesting. Like I said, it's a 3D printed construction, which allows you to use craft sticks in order to build it. So when you're going to have this, say, in a class at the library, a person can go and build this at the library, and then they don't have to mess around with all the electronics and things, but they still have a build, and they also have the electronics behind it. This particular chip here is a Wi-Fi enabled chip, is what it is. It's controlled, which controls these wheels, which utilizes what they call an H-bridge. And what this H-bridge does, it takes the power coming from the 9-volt battery and it distributes it to these wheels here. These are not servo wheels, but these are regular electric wheels. And as a result of being electric wheels, electric motor wheels, every time they start up, they create an electrical field. And what happens is when you stop them, the electrical field collapses and it sends a electrical charge back into the chip. So the H-bridge performs 2 functions. It performs the functions of providing a higher power to the wheels, and it also prevents the electricity when it collapses of going back into the chip and destroying the chip. So it really is kind of an advanced little piece of electronics. It's all using things that you would normally find in industrial applications or scientific applications. That's one of the goals that we've had with making these particular units, is that we've been wanting to give the patrons of our library at Chatsworth Library the ability to use things that are actually used in industry. So this whole thing is an example of what you can do if you take things off the shelf and you can build it. So what we've done is, once again, we've made a real fun game out of it, made these lights light up, and people can go and learn a little bit about how these microprocessors work. So without any ado, then I'm going to show you a video, and it's going to demonstrate to you how this particular robot here works. And afterwards, we're going to have a project too. So we hope you stay for the project. We're going to show you how to make a paper flower, which is really how we began the maker space. So we ask you to join us afterwards for making a paper flower. Get yourself some paper. Go ahead and download the template off of the website, and you'll be able to, once you download the template off the website, I'll show you how to make the flower. And once again, make sure that you enter into our contest to win Bryce's game. So Bryce has graciously given us at least one game to go and shoot for. So please remember to go and enroll for the game as well. There might be a few games as of this making of this. I'm not sure exactly how many games he's going to give out. There's going to be one or two. But once again, we thank you for visiting our makerspace today, our Maker Faire booth, our virtual pandemic Maker Faire booth. Thank you so much for your time, and have an absolutely excellent day at the Maker Faire. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our session and that you walked away with lots of amazing ideas and information. Please don't forget to come visit us at lapl.org. Thank you and goodbye.